Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Amanda. I'm so glad you're here today. I am going to be doing a mid-year reading goals check-in. So let's go. Okay, y'all, I thought that it was about time for me to do a little check-in on my yearly reading goals that I set at the beginning of the year. For the first time this year, I made a reading journal, and I am using that to kind of keep track of my goals and all the books I read. I also keep track of the books I read digitally, like in Storygraph, but I thought this would be something that I could kind of have forever, and it helps me also track the year-long challenges that I'm doing. So I'm gonna kind of go through these and we'll see how I'm doing so far. So the first reading goal that I had was to read 52 books. So I have read 68 books as of today. So I'm pretty shocked by that. At the beginning of the year, I thought that, okay, reading, a book a week would be really great if I read a book a week, and it would have been great. I mean, a book a week is fantastic. If you're reading, a book a month is fantastic. One book a year is fantastic. But for me, I wanted to have a pretty high goal that I knew would be challenging for me. Turns out that wasn't very challenging. I kind of got hooked into reading and realized that I could read more than one book at once, and started getting books on audio, and that really helped me read a ton more this year than I even thought I could. So I think I'm going to adjust my goal. I think I'm going to try to read 120 books total this year. So we'll see. I'm trying to give myself a little bit of a buffer because I know December is going to be hard, but I'm going to put that I have met that goal, but I'm going to add 120 books as my new goal. And then the next one that I have is to complete the Delightfully Feasting Spread the Feast challenge. So this is a challenge that is organized by Kristen at Delightfully Feasting on Instagram. She is a wealth of knowledge, and she shares so much information about books and reading, and also about homeschooling and just motherhood. She has a lot of good faith content. She's fantastic. If you don't follow her, go follow her right now. She's amazing. But she has a challenge, and I'll kind of show you what this looks like in my journal, but it's 25 prompts, and I have read or am in the process of reading 7 out of 25. So I'm a little behind on that one. But looking through it today, there are a lot of books that I am planning to read that are coming up in the second half of the year. So I think I should be able to finish it by the end of the year. The next goal that I have is to complete Chantel's Read Your Bookshelf challenge. So that is, so I'm kind of doing that a little bit differently than she intended it. She has it broken down by month, and so you can pick from either Montgomery or Doyle, and I'll post her video below so you can check that out if you want to. And then you kind of stay on that track month to month, and then there are several months where you can switch tracks if you want to. But I'm kind of just doing all the prompts, and I'm not doing it by month. So I'm just trying to read a book from each of the prompts that she has on both sides, because I figured that would be a good way for me to get a lot of books in, and hopefully some different books that I wouldn't have normally thought to read. So I have read 12 out of, I think there are about 23 prompts in total. So that's pretty good. That's just over halfway, so I'm kind of right where I should be on that one. I love this challenge. It has been a lot of fun to find books that fit into her prompts. The next goal I had was to complete the Middle Grade March challenge, and I did that in March, so I'm going to check that off. The next one was to read 5 books in the sci-fi genre. So that's a genre that I wasn't really afraid of. It's just not something that I would tend to pick up before something like a historical fiction or a thriller or a mystery. So I wanted to challenge myself to read at least 5 books in that genre. I have read, well, I'm currently reading The Last Quintista, which is a middle grade sci-fi that I really like so far. And then I also read The Hunger Games, which is listed as a sci-fi. So that's 2 out of 5. So I need to find 3 more sci-fi. If you know of any really good sci-fi books, would you drop them in the comments? Because I need some good recommendations. The next goal I had was to read 1 horror book. And this is a genre that is pretty much like a no for me in the past. I would have said no, I'm not reading anything scary. Like beyond a thriller, I wouldn't have thought that I would have liked something that would be classified as horror. But I read The Children on the Hill, I think it is, and loved it. And I am looking for more to read in that genre. So I'm probably going to exceed that goal, which is really cool. Because that's what all these challenges are about, right? Is to kind of expand your reading, expand your variety. And because I read that 1 book, now I'm thinking that I could read even more in that genre and actually really start to have that as one of my more well-liked genres. I'm not going to say my favorite because I don't know about that, but I think it'll be a genre that I can enjoy and really read several books a year in. The next one on my list was to read the entire Narnia series. So I have always wanted to read all the books in this series. Of course, I've read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe as a kid, and I think I actually read it in college too. But I want to read the rest of the series because, I mean, it's classic. It's C.S. Lewis. I think everybody should probably have to read this series. So I have read 2 books in that series. I have read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and I just finished Prince Caspian. So I've got a little ways to go, but they're relatively quick reads, and you can just fly through them. So I think I'll still be able to finish by the end of the year, but I do need to get going. The next goal that I had was to complete the Christian Nonfiction Read-Along Challenge that's put on by Krista at Books and Jams. There are 4 books through the year. It's 1 a quarter, and I read the February book, which was the Screwtape Letters, so I'm checking that off. And then I read in May The Hiding Place by Corrie ten Boom. So there are 2 more books left for this year, but I am on track with that one. All right, and then the last goal that I had for this year was to start this channel. So I have talked about starting a YouTube channel for a really long time, and being an Enneagram 5, I tend to do a lot of thinking and not a lot of doing. So this was a really big challenge for me to actually do this, and I've been consistent so far in my first month, so I'm really proud of myself for that. And I think it's a huge step for me in the right direction of doing and not just thinking. So I'm proud of myself, and I'm gonna check it off my list. All right, so I think one goal that I would like to add to this list is to finish this reading journal this year. I have it finished through February, but I'm a little bit behind. So I want to make sure that I keep up with this, and I'm not like super creative in this way. There are a lot of beautiful reading journals out there all over YouTube, and they're beautiful. But for me, it's not so much of a creative outlet as it is a tracking and like a keepsake for me to have to look back on. So I want to make sure that I stay consistent and actually do this reading journal each month and keep up with it. So I'm going to get caught up this month, and then hopefully stay that way through the end of the year. All right, so I would love to hear down in the comments if you keep a reading journal or even just a list of reading goals. And if you do, how are you coming along on your goals? I think it would be really fun to encourage each other and kind of hold each other accountable a little bit. I've really enjoyed having this reading journal this year and tracking to make sure that I'm keeping up with my challenges. So let me know if you do this and how you're coming along. So for today's kindness moment, I am going to read you a poem. It's a short one by Emily Dickinson. So it says, "If I can stop one heart from breaking, I shall not live in vain. If I can ease one life the aching, or cool one pain, or help one fainting robin unto his nest again, I shall not live in pain." So on that note, go out there and be kind to someone today, y'all.